let's stay in yesterday's game, and let's bring him in. It's the moment you're always waiting for on Monday. The professor is in house. Let's go, Lance Briggs.
Let's rock and roll. Yes, the professor is back. I haven't put no B+. There's no way. That is the lowest grade I've given this year. Well, fellas, let us get right to work. Hold on a minute. Let me get this foot up here.
Get that notebook out, Professor.
Indeed.
Look at that thing.
Yes, indeed. All right, so the highest grade of the week of this game goes to the offense. Gave a B minus because they put up another they put up a lot of points on rushing and passing. I thought this was one of the best games I've seen Caleb play. You know, I just thought from an accuracy standpoint, being in the pocket, his presence and his magic footwork, evading would-be pass rushers. So I gave him a B minus. We still had drops. You know, we still had drops, and we were really bad on third down and fourth down.
The Caleb Houdini act, and he's been doing this his entire career, but yesterday's I give him an A++.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Burns was in his face multiple times. That's a guy that gets quarterbacks to the ground and somehow, some way, I mean, like, could breathe on him. Yeah. And he somehow got away. That was big time impressive. Now that's of course not something that's going to carry you to the Super Bowl, but it was impressive.
Yep.
I mean, there's a couple screenshots where if you just like pause it right at the moment where Caleb looks like he's about to get sacked, you're like, how did this turn into a positive play at all?
Mm-hmm. And they're asking about after, how do you do that? If I was him, like, I have no idea, man. I'm trying to not get killed. That's how I do it. Like
he has an amazing ability to feel backside pressure, you know, that he shouldn't see. Which is interesting because we're still kind of on him sometimes on getting the ball.
Are you seeing it down here, or are you feeling it, or are you seeing it out of the corner of your eye? And if you're seeing it out of the corner of your eye, are you missing what's right here in front?
Which might be possible.
Yeah, and also just the spin move that he's doing, where he kind of leans right and then flips back the other way. I mean, that's a big time athlete right there.
At the end of so here's the deal. When you see that, when I see it, the first person that comes to mind is Tony Romo. Tony Romo made an absolute career out of it. He made a career out of it, and going in to play Tony Romo. Hey, he's gonna spin to his right every time. He's gonna spin to his right every time. The amount of defensive ends that still get caught when he spins out and he creates more time for his receivers is pretty absurd when you know he's gonna do it.
Why do you think that's so hard for a defender?
Because you feel like you're taking the correct angle at him right now, and as soon as you get close to him, you might get a jab step, you might turn out, but the reality is it beats the angle. It's really tricky to come that fast when he spins out and to turn your body and plant your foot and move outside. So you really have to take an outside, an extreme outside angle that he ends up having to step up. Because you're worried if I go too wide, if I go too high up the field, he'll just step inside and run inside.
Right.
So you get caught.
Yeah.
Which we've seen him do that too. He'll climb up in the pocket. And the other thing that makes me just feel good is his toughness, physicality. He doesn't take. I mean, I still get worried when he's scrambling sometimes, but man, I watched Drake May. He took another brutal hit yesterday. He's got to protect himself. Jaden Daniels is already hurt. We saw it with Jackson Dart yesterday. That's the fourth time he's been evaluated for a concussion this season, guys. And this time it was a concussion. So you got to you got to be worried about that. And knock on wood, but Caleb has that sort of just physicality built into his body that seems like he can withstand some of the stuff.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I don't exactly know how he did. He did take one huge shot yesterday on his shoulder. I forget which Giant got him, but it's not the hit you want him taking. But he doesn't really ever gets squared up. It's very rare that you see Caleb take that level of hit. He's
understanding angles.
There's some skill going on there too.
All right, defense.
Defense gets a D-, and I think that's actually being kind. All right, gave up 431 yards, 261 passing, 169 rushing, and the amount of games that our defense has given up less than 100 yards it's pretty rare this year. They haven't done it often. More often than not, it's not just 100 yards. It's like 150, and down the stretch, fellas, and against Minnesota, against these tough teams, it's going to kill us. Like that's what's going to set us back the most. Bad on third down, bad on fourth down. We did have one takeaway. Honestly, D- is being very gracious in my opinion.
What do you feel like this defense is missing the most right now?
There were play. I'm going to talk about linebacker play. There were plays where I didn't, in my opinion. Now it could be coached this way. There were plays where it was a clear run, and I saw Noah Sewell two gapping. Okay, he's playing one gap play side, and then he falls back when the ball comes back. Okay, your backside backer that's also just outside the box. If you get a play side run, both backers are going to play on both sides of those gaps. They're responsible for three gaps. Two linebackers are responsible for 3 gaps. So if you get a running back that plays to the play side, the backside linebacker doesn't need to fall back if he hits the gap right now. It's only the play side linebacker that would fall back if the ball bounces all the way back. So some of the stuff, and then there was a puller. I see Tremaine Edmonds. He runs through. He spills it. Noah Sewell has to come downhill right now. He doesn't get there fast enough, and we get gashed. So I think part of it is about triggering and getting downhill fast enough. I don't. It's hard sometimes. I don't like to comment on other defensive coordinators' defense when I'm not 100% sure. That's what it looks like.
Well, and they've just had a lot of moving parts. TJ's been in the lineup. Right. He's been out of the lineup. Sewell's playing really for the first time in his career. Mm-hmm. I mean, the biggest linebacker success story this year is Tremaine, which you've been shouting out every week.
Yep, man.
And I'm still trying to figure out that one. Like, clearly he's better on the weak side. But I'm also like, Matt Eberflus was supposed to be Johnny defense, yet he didn't figure that out. So I'm like, how is Dennis Allen some genius here, or was Flus just a complete idiot for doing it that way?
No, not at all, not at all. Listen, Tremaine still gets beat down the seam. All right, for as tall as he is, I've still seen him get beat down the seam with a too high. Okay, he's not perfect. However, what he is doing right now is he's putting himself in position better than he has before, and when he gets in position, he's arriving with bad intentions. So he's getting the guys down. He's holding them. He's knocking them back. He's getting them down for little or no yards at all. And then the other big thing about him is his playmaking, big time playmaking. He's taking the ball away a lot, at a great rate right now. So I love what I'm seeing from him, but he's not perfect at all.
Biggs had this note in his piece today. 9 games in, he's got 80 tackles, which is by far the most on the team. 32 more than anybody else, Tremaine. 32 more. That's a big time number. Byard's second, by the way, with 48. 4 picks. That's high as a career high. 8 deflected passes. That's 4 shy of his career best mark, which happened in Buffalo in 2018. Mm-hmm. And so he's on pace for 151 tackles, which would be 30 more than he's ever had in a season. Those are some wild numbers.
Yeah, it is. But what I don't like is I want to see more double-digit tackle games. I want to see more double-digit tackle games because that's about the effort. It's about the effort. You're going to get linebackers typically going to get probably 6-7 tackles just because the play is funneled to them. So the other tackles you have to be about effort. Have to be about running to the ball every play and just being near the ball. Should always see you a linebacker in the frame of where the ball is.
Which I felt like was an issue on that one long run that Devin Singletary had where Noah Sewell missed the – and I don't know – I'm not saying necessarily it was Tremaine, but it just – Noah's not able to make the tackle in the backfield, and then there wasn't the second and third guy rallying to the ball right there to make that play.
You have it's a 4th and 1 situation, and you have a guy that is sprinting. This is a great play by Noah, and yes, we want him to make the play, but what he does is he makes the running back take steps backwards. That is all you could ask for if you're the other 10 players that should be sprinting to the ball. He just backed up. Oh, we have him now. That's what we're asking for. CJ had a wonderful game. This was not one of his better plays because he was jogging to the play. He was the next guy. If everybody's sprinting, when that running back takes steps back to make that hit, and let's say maybe CJ misses him too. 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The next guy comes in, takes a shot. Then the next guy comes in, takes a shot. It never should have been a 40-yard game.
Yeah. Well, before we move off to this, I just want to shout out Noah Sewell. At the goal line, when the Giants ended up kicking the three-pointer, the field goal with when Dable should have gone for it, which maybe ultimately got him fired, Noah Sewell had a huge tackle down by the goal line. Yep. Brisker had a play down there. Austin Booker had a play down there. A bunch of guys stepped up when they had to, and those were big-time plays. When you think about like the key plays that helped the Bears win the game, those were up there.
Yep. Special teams.
This one had a saving grace because of the block punt. All right, I really wanted to go a little bit lower, but C-. So many reasons for this to be lower. And again, I like Tory Taylor, our 4th-round punter, has been getting out-punted for weeks now. Where the opponent's punter is setting it down inside the 10, while ours, more often than not, going into that end zone. So, Hogue, this is your area.
Yeah, Hogue.
No, I mean, it continues to be a little confounding. I don't think Tory Taylor's doing a bad job by any means, but when we watch him repeatedly in training camp the last 2 seasons, seemingly like I have a sand wedge with ridiculous spin on it, where the ball just like hits the 1-2 yard line and it just stops. Mm-hmm. That to me has not carried over to the regular season enough. We're not seeing those. And yesterday he had one where it wasn't even really a pin situation. He's got such a good leg. I think if he angles that to the sideline, you're probably inside the 10-yard line. Instead, he gets it all the way into the end zone. Now, I don't think the conditions were outstanding yesterday to really feel like you have, it's like golf. I mean, you're out there on a windy day. It's not going to be easy to hit the green. Mm-hmm. But as Briggs was saying earlier in the show, you are in the NFL.
Yep.
You are a punter in the NFL, and this is what you're being paid to do. So I definitely think there's some room for improvement there to really help field position, which it feels like the Bears have been kind of working uphill a little bit this season from the field position standpoint too often. That's why it was such a big play at the end of the game where they shank one out of bounds looking like Greg Braggs, and you get great field position, you take advantage.
That was huge.
Coaching. Fellas, coaching I think gets a C. I think you average out. You wonderful job. I think for offense, even with a few miscues. Defense is down the stretch is something we're really going to have. That concerns me right now. Is defense more than anything else. Special teams being a C-. We got a D- and a B-. That averages out, I think, to about a C.
Yeah, it's hard to see our coaching staff getting average grades here because they've really done an unbelievable job in turning this thing around. Mm-hmm. But if we are just going to go from a very myopic one-game viewpoint, I hear you. I get it.
If you lay your emotions to the side, which I think is probably almost impossible for a Chicago fan, it's not bad. We have things that we want to play for. There's things that we want to coach for. There's grades that we want to reach. And if we hold our coaching, our offense, our defense, our special teams to a high standard, and we reach those standards, we're looking at a championship team.